They're acclimating us right now with over 100 mainstream news articles a day. You can go to Google News and type New World Order in. There'll be over 100 new ones a day. It's in the thousands and thousands now, the last few months. World government's good. World government will save you. New global currency, a new Amero. North American Union's the answer. Wall Street Journal, Newsweek, Time Magazine, New York Times, everything. I mean, just everything. Everything. They are in a full court press. You want the economy to get better? A world government run by the bankers. Just the asinine over-the-topness of it all. And we're all becoming conditioned. You know, now I see 100 articles plus a day with Rothschilds and Rockefeller saying the world government is now here. We're going to carbon tax everything you do. And I'm so conditioned to it now and have known about it so long and have covered it so long that now that I've been proven completely right and it's all right out in the open, I'm just sitting here and we're all just sitting here going, okay, there it is. And meanwhile, our detractors on radio and TV and on the websites and on the blogs, and they just keep calling us tinfoil hat heads and saying there's no global bank, there's no New World Order, none of this is happening, everything's fine. And, of course, a lot of them are paid bloggers, that's been admitted, but many more aren't. It's just a mentally ill, very, very sick society. Large sectors of our economy and society and socioeconomic development, everything, spiritually, are just really sick, evil people. The majority aren't, but the majority that is half-decent people aren't engaged, aren't informed, aren't involved. And they're lazy and they don't want to know. And because they don't want to know and because they don't want to say no to any of this tyranny, because they're too self-centered and selfish, you're going to get everything you got taken. And you know, when this happens, and it's about a 98% chance it will happen in the next decade. Now, we could change that if we got really involved and started having mass sit-ins and, you know, making it the main issue, no matter what anybody said or did. We could probably stop them. Maybe. They may go ahead and just do it anyways. But then we may have people catch them trying it, just like we caught them trying to ship the 6 cruise missiles out of the country to claim Iran had them, and then they killed, what was it, last time I checked, close to 20 of the military men that were witnesses to what really happened with the Minot Dakota situation. Remember that? But nukes are nothing compared to this. I mean, you can drop a nuke on a city of 2 million people, depending on the megaton, and, you know, it'll kill half of them and radiate the rest. But we can survive that. That's an isolated incident. Most of you listening right now to this show, if we don't turn this around, are dead. You understand? I'm dead. You're dead. Our children are probably going to die or not have parents. And when it comes and when it happens, many of you that were laughing and giggling, you're finally going to freak out. And you're going to run off and beg for the vaccine or whatever they've got for you. And the first bioweapon they release, and this is the big news story, the first bioweapon they release in the next phase will be isolated. You know, it'll kill 100,000 or so. And then they'll teach you how to go under biohazard control and how to lock down cities and that they're the boss and they know best. We've all got a thumb scan to buy and sell to stop it from happening. And then the next one, as they beta test it, will kill a couple million. And then it'll lock things down even more. And then the next one will kill 2 billion people. Then they'll totally lock down society to a level unimaginable, and you won't care if your neighbor's being drug off and arrested. All you care about is that, you know, you get these proper vaccines to protect you from the progenian Zyklon 12 super virus or whatever they engineer. And then, of course, they'll finally kill you, too. That's their stated plan. And when I saw the reports I'm about to cover when we come back from break, and I read them, it was stunning. The room almost wheeled around me. And dots that were already connected, a clear picture that was already there, all documented. It just went three-dimensional, so much more detail, so much more understanding. And I know their plan. I understand their operation. But to realize that they're really going to do it, to know that we were right about everything else because we were just reading what the globalists said they would do, and that they mean everything they promise, and they mean everything they said they're going to do in their white papers, in their directives, in their councils, in their world governmental system. You know, it's a scholarly research, but it's there for those that wish to look. It's public, open source. Now, it's nothing but lies with their public face into the general public. How they want to help you and they love you and they care about you and it's the children and all this. But they keep all their promises when it comes to the Trilateral Commission, CFR, Club of Rome, United Nations, the big central banks. So when we come back, for the balance of this hour, I am going to break down the most important story I have ever covered on this radio show. It is more important than when I went on air and said they're going to blow up the World Trade Centers and probably blame it on their asset, bin Laden. They're going to do it the next 2 months, call the White House, tell them don't do it, July 25th, and did it for 2 months straight till the enemy carried out the operation. This dwarfs that. You see, 9/11 was only carried out to set the stage for the police state to suppress the general population as they financially bankrupt you in preparation to use the bioweapons.
This is not America. Sha-la-la-la-la. Little piece of you, a little piece in me will die. This is not a miracle, for this is not America.
We'll die for the system.
Blossom fails to bloom the season.
We are back live. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read this news article. Then I'm going to come back and go through all the points and why this is so serious, and connect it to other background information to make it crystal clear. This is by Paul Watson. He wrote it this morning. Did a great job. I contacted him and Kurt last night, and they got all this posted this morning. Accidental contamination of vaccines with live avian flu virus, virtually impossible. That's what government officials and top vaccine scientists are saying. Now, this is a strain of bird flu that kills 60 to 90% of humans it comes in contact with. They gave it to ferrets, and it killed all of them deader than a hammer. This thing is so wide spectrum that it attacks, see, normally a flu, or a separate cold bug for that matter, you'll have zoological organisms and you'll have organisms that affect humans. There's very few diseases, except things like very few pathogens, very few microbes, to use the old term, that attack humans and different types of animals. You can get leprosy from a few animals, like an armadillo. You can get rabies if you're bitten by a bat or a dog that has it. But those are not airborne. They're not airborne. In some rare cases, rabies can stay alive a few seconds, so people have been in caves with millions of bats and been studying them. And my grandfather, going to UT, had one of his favorite professors, an archaeologist, in caves while he was in college. Went out looking for Indian artifacts in a cave and got rabies from bats. But I'm already digressing. I said I'd cover the article. The point is, I've studied bird flu intently because I've seen the establishment hyping it, preparing everybody, saying billions will probably die from bird flu. You know, we've seen those headlines. We've seen that hype, that fear-mongering. We've seen them talk about how it's going to spread. All these top scientists and virologists and epidemiologists and microbiologists have been killed in association with researching the avian flu. They'll walk out front of their house and be machine gunned. They'll be tortured to death. They'll be drowned in Houston. You know, they'll be run over and back over at the college in front of people. They're murdering bioweapons scientists in England, Australia, Russia, Germany, the United States, Canada, everywhere. It's in the hundreds and hundreds. And it's always in association with bird flu research, either the treatment or identifying it or in weapons production. Now remember, they dug up the 1918 Spanish flu, itself clearly a German bioweapon. A lot of evidence shows that. They dug that up from whalers near the Arctic who'd been frozen in the permafrost. Pentagon did that, 8 years ago? Then suddenly they announced in the news, suddenly the old strain is shown back up. But that's separate from this.